I love pissing and shitting. I love I love pissing and shitting with the door open. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel at home. Yeah, yeah. I love being crazy. I love being crazy and not like crazy on purpose, although sometimes, we do act crazy on purpose, on a purpose, whether we're like trying to be crazy. Anyways, whether we're trying to be crazy or not, like, yeah, I love being crazy. I love being crazy. No, genuinely, I am crazy. I identify as crazy. I love being crazy. And I don't mean like crazy, like, oh, I'm like being so crazy right now, or like, I'm gonna do this thing that I know is crazy on purpose because what I, like most of the time, our goal isn't to just be crazy. And I'm not out here acting a fool or like I'm not out here doing whatever I want just to be crazy. Like, no, I just genuinely love being crazy because I think everyone is crazy. Is that a crazy thing to say? No, I think that everyone is crazy. Why do I think that everyone is crazy? Because the world is a crazy place. The world? Guys, I don't need to explain this. The world is insane. The world is crazy. And first, let me just explain what I mean by the word crazy because I do know that some people do take offense to that word being used. They take offense to the word crazy. They feel like it shouldn't be used. Let me just look up the definition real quick. Okay. The definition: not mentally sound, marked by thought or action that lacks reason. It can also mean impractical, it can also mean unusual, out of the ordinary. There's a lot of different ways that people describe it in dictionaries, supposedly. But if we look at that original Webster dictionary, yeah, Merriam-Webster dictionary, not mentally sound, marked by thought or action that lacks reason. First of all, a lot of the things that we do as humans lack reason. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that we do, that we participate in, even at the individual level, that lack reason and are not mentally sound. So many things. The list goes on and on. When we argue with someone, like, we're really arguing with ourselves. When we take offense to strangers or offense to things people say to us, knowing full and well that maybe someone says something to us that isn't true, but we still take offense. Like, why would we take offense to something that isn't true? Because that's has no reason, that has no sound. We take offense to it because we have feelings, but feelings, like, if we think about it on the most basic level, like, we have feelings. Us as humans, we have feelings. But feelings in and of itself lack reason, besides the fact that we experience things that can bring up feelings for us. But even if we're not experiencing anything, that also brings up a feeling. For example, we're not experiencing anything could make us feel depressed because feeling, like, the lack of feeling can make us depressed, and then we feel depressed or we feel sad. So even not experiencing anything can bring up feelings. So feelings in and of itself don't have reason or logic in them. We are the ones that give it logic. Our brain, our intellect is what gives feelings logic. But in and of itself, a feeling is a sensation in the body. It doesn't have any logic. So feelings in general lack reason and lack logic because what is logic anyways? Being a human is crazy. And then we live in a crazy world. There is war. There's constant war that gives some people money, that makes some people rich. Like, war makes certain people rich. War makes certain countries rich. There's ongoing violence that happens all around us, like all around us all the time. We've built a society for ourselves when we could just be existing on earth, eating the food that the land gives us, communing with the cows and the goats. Like, we could fully just be chilling on the side of some riverbed and like not need to work at all. But for whatever reason, as humans, we've created a system that makes us need to pay rent for being alive, to work to make money so that we can live. on a world that we were born into for free. Like, we've created the system of capitalism that is crazy, and then we are choosing to actively participate and live in it. Like, that is crazy. Like, being in this world is fucking, this world is crazy. This world is crazy. I don't need to explain this to you. If you're watching this, you already know that this world is crazy. And so simply existing in this world, everyone's crazy, bro. Everyone's crazy. And if you don't think you're crazy, but you are living and existing in a crazy world, I'm sorry, that makes you even more crazy. If you genuinely think that you are not crazy, but everyone around you is, child, sorry to tell you, but that sounds pretty crazy to me. I mean, if you think about it, we're all little humans, we're all little ants that were put into a crazy world, and then some of us ourselves think we're not crazy, but we are of the world. So, girl, we're all crazy. And so it's better to be self-aware and crazy than to be unaware. And to the people who clicked onto this video thinking that they themselves are not crazy, I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Let's have a moment of silence for you. Okay? Because that's pretty crazy. What's scary about not being aware that you're crazy is that you will go around and not question your thoughts, your actions, or the ways that you make other people feel and the impact you have on those around you. And that can be really dangerous because you can hurt a lot of people by doing that. And in life in general, like, you get close to someone, like, we are bound to hurt each other. It's just a part of being a human, is accidentally hurting the people around you, the people that we love and care about and who love and care about us. But what's scary is when you're unaware of that impact and you're unable to really face your shadows and those parts of you, because when you're unable to admit when you're being wrong or when what you're doing is illogical or lacking reason, then it's much easier to hurt people. The second that I decided to accept the fact that I'm crazy and to fully accept that as a truth and as a reality, I don't know, things went up from there. I just feel like things started to go up from there because when you are self-aware of your crazy, that makes it more manageable. You know, when you see something, it makes it more manageable versus when you're not seeing it, when you're unaware completely that you're crazy, it's actually quite scary and quite dangerous to the people around you and yourself. And that's not to say that being unaware that you're crazy is bad, because it's not bad. There are plenty of conditions, of mental health conditions, mental health illnesses, which I don't like the word mental health illness. I really don't like that word because, again, I am of the belief that everyone is crazy. So to single out specific people as being more crazy than others, I think is not okay. It goes against my code. So it's not to say that just because you're unaware that you're crazy, that's not bad necessarily. I don't think like this idea of what's good and what's bad should even be something that's typically discussed, because truthfully, like, that gets into really mushy territory of like, who are we to judge what's good and what's bad? That's my own personal opinion. So that's not to say that being unaware that you are crazy is inherently bad, because that would be ableist, because there are, again, many conditions that would make someone unaware that they are crazy, and that's not a bad thing. Like, that's just that person's specific idiosyncrasy of existence and of life. And to say that being unaware of your crazy is bad is fully ableist. It's not bad, it's just scary, and it makes it more dangerous. Because here's the thing, we also cannot be fully aware of our crazy because we have ego, right? We all, as humans, we all have our own ego. So there will always be a hidden aspect of our crazy, or maybe a part of our crazy that's just a little bit more in the shadows that we're not interacting with or thinking about or facing every single day because we have this ego. And again, our ego is there to kind of protect us in a way, because if we were fully self-aware people, then that's really crazy. Like, then that's really crazy. I think, like, self-aware and unself-aware, I think a lot of things in life exist in a circle, exist in this continuum. And so self-aware and unself-aware are like right next to each other. And it's really easy to go through one side to the other side. You know what I mean? Our ego also is there to protect us. Our ego isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's there to protect us and to allow us to continue on to our day without this full self-awareness of like every single thing that happens. Like, no, that's not possible and that's not healthy, you know? And even if we do have this full self-awareness, it would have to come in the form of a meditation and not in the form of constant thoughts. Constant thoughts is not really helpful to us because we need to exist and do things and feed ourselves and clean ourselves and blah, 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 blah. So there's certain things that we need to do that our ego protects us and allows us to do those things. Our self-awareness is what allows us to be in relationship with our crazy, hopefully in a sustainable way. More to say of like what it actually means to be crazy. I see individual craziness as our own unique way of operating and experiencing a crazy world and a crazy experience of life. And every single experience of in this world is going to be an experience that's kind of crazy. Life is crazy. Like, life is crazy. And so I see everyone's individual crazy as that own unique way of operating in this world, including all those idiosyncrasies that specifically people have of existing, of living. So being self-aware, at least I can take a step back when somebody comes to me saying like, hey, you're not being reasonable right now. Like, hey, whatever's happening to you is like impacting you in this way and like creating, like causing you to act in a certain way. If I'm self-aware, then at least I can take a step back and consider what's being said to me and consider it entirely and not, you know, get defensive. And if I am defensive, at least having that self-awareness of like, okay, perhaps I'm being defensive. Let me actually consider what this person is saying in its entirety. And like having that self-awareness of like, even if this person isn't right, like even if this person is wrong in their own interpretation, at least I can like take a step back and like have that own awareness of like who I am and what my patterns are in order to really interrogate the situation from kind of a more detached kind of witness point of view. Self-awareness of our crazy allows us to be able to pause and reflect. Because at the end of the day, my goals as a human, and probably a lot of our goals deep, deep down, like our desire as humans is to be seen, to be understood, and to be loved, to be seen and understood and held in that truth of who we are and to be loved there. And at the end of the day, our feelings are always going to be valid. Like, no matter what we feel, someone's acting crazy towards us, something happens to us, we experience something, like our feelings are always going to be valid. But if my actions and my behavior is prohibiting my ultimate goal of being seen and understood and loved for who I am, then I am able to take a step back and think, why is this person bringing up like my crazy? Whatever different words, like, you know, definitely don't use the word crazy when you're bringing something up to somebody, impacting them, impacting our relationship. Why is this person bringing this up? And what am I doing that makes it difficult for this person to not understand me, to not get me in this moment? Like, how am I acting that is making this person experience difficulty, like connecting to me and seeing me right now? And how can I change my behavior? How can I change my words so that it better reflects how I actually am feeling and my actual character and my actual values? Because at the end of the day, our feelings are valid. Our feelings are completely valid. But if my actions are making it difficult to obtain my true desires, then there's a disconnect with what I actually want and how my actions are getting me what I want. When we're aware of what's happening in the shadows, we're able to allow our shadows to work for us and not against us. And that is what it means to have a healthy relationship to our own crazy. And once we develop a healthy relationship to our crazy, then we're able to see other people clearer, perhaps in their own crazy, and then also allow others to see us better as well. So that's the video for today. And yeah, I hope you walk away from this with a desire to just like convene with your own crazy a little bit more and get to know the parts of you that are crazy and get more comfortable with it, because actually that's like a really nice thing to talk about with people. Like, how are you crazy, especially on a first date, of like, how are you crazy, and have an honest conversation about that, because when you are intimately involving yourself with somebody else's life, then you're gonna see they're crazy and they're gonna see you're crazy, and so might as well get comfortable talking about it, is what I think. I love you. The divine in me and the crazy in me sees the divine and the crazy in you, and I hope you have a beautiful day.